Back again, boys and girls, for theory lesson number 5, talking more about the circle of fifths. If you remember, the circle of fifths has a bunch of what's called key signatures around it, which are little things that appear before a piece of music that tell you which notes are sharped and which notes are flat. So, last time we talked about generally what the circle of fifths was. The order of sharps, remember, is F, C, G, D, A, E, B. Order of flats, B, E, A, D, G, C, F. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, go back to the last theory lesson. You might have to watch it a couple times, but it is important to memorize those two things. So again, we're just going to continue our work with the circle of fifths, and I'll see you for the lesson. Okay, so back here with the circle of fifths again for theory lesson 5. So a quick recap of what we talked about before. Order of sharps was F, C, G, D, A, E, B. And the order of flats is B, E, A, D, G, C, F. And if you don't know what I'm talking about or you need more practice, take a look at theory lesson 4, where I go into the depth of why that's important. Actually, I'll talk about that real quick. Order sharps is the order in which you add the sharps for these key signatures. So you start out so remember order of sharps is F, C, G, D, A, E, B, of course. So you know C has nothing. G has one sharp, so what's the first sharp in your order of sharps? F. The next one has 2 sharps, so you're going to count the first 2. F and C, F sharp and C sharp. Then the next one, key A, has 3 sharps, F, C, G. Next one's F, C, G, D, F, C, G, D, A, F, C, G, D, A, E, B. Same thing with the order of flats. So sharps, you go to the right. Flats, you go to the left. So real quick, the first flat is B. Next one's B, E, B, E, A, B, E, A, D. I think you get the idea, hopefully, and we'll go over this again because I know it is quite a lot. So let's go over what we did last time as far as interpreting what the circle of fifths is about. So the circle of fifths will tell you all about these key signatures. The key signatures is just something that appears at the beginning of a piece of music that tells you what notes are sharped or flatted throughout the whole piece. So we have the key of C has nothing. That's pretty easy. No white keys, no black keys. Or no black keys. Lots of white keys, actually. Sorry about that. I want you to memorize that the key of G has 1 sharp, and that's going to be F sharp. And then we're continuing to the right. The key of D has 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. The key of A has 3 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. Now we're going to do 3 more today. Here we have the key of E down here, has 4 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. Now here you notice this looks a little funny. We have 2 letters here and 2 key signatures here. Well, the innermost letter corresponds to the innermost key signature, and the outermost one corresponds to the outermost key signature. Today we're just talking about really B, the inside one. So don't worry about C flat. That's another day. And the only reason that there are 2 of them is that's just how they were able to construct the circle of fifths and get it to fit into a circle. But anyway, key of E has 4 sharps, remember that, and the key of B has 5 sharps, as you can see right in here, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp. Now here's where things kind of get weird. So again, we have 2 written here. F sharp corresponds to this inner one, G flat corresponds to this outer one. We're only talking about the inner one today, F sharp. So the inner one, F sharp, has 6 sharps. Well, let's say we didn't have this here. You know, you didn't have the circle and fifths in front of you, and you're like, gee, F sharp. I do remember that it has 6 sharps, but what 6 sharps are sharped? Wow, that was kind of a tongue twister. But anyway, so you're just going to count your order of sharps up to number 6. So you're going to go F, C, G, D, A, and E. So that's up to 6 of them. So it's going to tell you F is sharped, G is sharped, A is sharped, E is sharped, B is sharped, and F is sharped. I think I got that. And then we'll talk about, actually we can talk about this last one. This last one, so there's 2 here again. This time we're going to be talking about the one on the outer circle, or yeah, on the outer of the circle, and that's C sharp. So C sharp has all 7 sharps, all of them. You just count your order of sharps all the way through, and all of those are sharped. Every key within the scale or within the key signature is sharped. So again, C has 0, G has 1 sharp, D has 2 sharps, A has 3 sharps, E has 4 sharps. Remember the inner one, B has 5 sharps, F sharp has 6 sharps. And remember to call it F sharp, because if you call it F, that's actually something different. And actually you can spot it over here, it has 1 flat. So F sharp and C sharp. And I'll explain later, I don't really have the camera in focus to show you on the keyboard why this one's F sharp and why this one's C sharp, but I will show you eventually, and if I forget, remind me. But anyway, so when you practice this or look at this, I'll post this on the wiki, or you can freeze frame the video. We're only going to the right now. You can go to the left, and that's actually how you figure out all the flat key signatures, but we're only talking about the ones that either start at 0 or have sharps in them. We're not looking at any of the ones that have flats quite yet, only because I don't want to confuse you. I know this is a lot to take in, a lot to memorize, and I actually do have a way to figure out these easily without the circle of fifths in front of you. But for now, you're free to use the circle of fifths. You can look it up on the internet. It's very easy to find. Like I said, I'm going to post it on my wiki. And you can use it as a reference. I mean, if you don't want to memorize this whole thing, and you're not, you don't want to be expert musician or whatever, you don't have to do that. But I'm telling you, it will help you if you do have it memorized. But say, you're playing a piece someday and it's in the key of G, or somebody tells you to play something in the key of G, and you're like, oh boy, I forget, I have no idea what's going on. So you go to G, there's G, and you're like, oh, it has 1 sharp, and that's F sharp. I remember that from Tim's lesson. But anyway, there's part 2 of the circle of fifths fiasco, lessons, and I'll see you next time for theory lesson 6 or something. What is this, 5? 6. Alright, well anyway, I'll see you for the outro. Okay, so that concludes theory lesson 5. We talked about the circle of fifths again today. We talked about going around the circle of fifths to the right clockwise, and that tells you what key signatures have sharps in them. We went over those. Feel free to watch the video multiple times to kind of understand what those are. Try to memorize them as best you can. If you don't want to or you can't, that's okay, because you can refer to the circle of fifths later if you want, but it is kind of helpful to have all that information up here. So remember that the key of C has 0 sharp, 0 flats. Key of G has 1 sharp, which is F sharp. The key of D has 2 sharps, which is F sharp and C sharp. The key of A has 3 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. The key of E has F sharp, C sharp, F, C, G, and D sharp. The key of B has 5 sharps, F, C, G, D, A. And then the key of F sharp has 6 sharps, F, C, G, D, A, E. Those are all sharped. And lastly, the key of C sharp has all 7 sharps. Every note in the whole scale or key rather is sharped. Everything's sharped. F, C, G, D, A, E, and lastly B. They're all sharped. Next time we'll start to talk about what the flat key signatures are, the ones with flats, like F has 1 flat, B flat has 2, and I'll talk about that next time. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I know it's quite a lot to wrap your head around if you're not used to this kind of thing. Leave me any comments or questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. I'll probably make a review video at the end of these couple lessons just to go over this again, and feel free to watch the video again. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate the nice comments and questions, and I really appreciate you watching. It helps me out a lot, and I'm just glad I could do something to help somebody out. So anyway, I'll see you next time for either another theory lesson or a piano lesson. We'll see what happens.